So as they're meditating, sitting still.
Hello guys, welcome to our channel once again. So today we're going to be talking about the episode 14 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know. Firstly, I thought this episode was just fillers. I ah, it just looked as if it was fillers to me. I don't know if any other person felt like that.
To be honest, I feel like this whole show is full of fillers at this point. Like they really should have not bothered with this season. Um and I think for me the only thing that I actually enjoyed was the mental health event because I actually just thought like that was something that was crucial to the story and actually having that event for Drew's sister essentially that was the only part. I think everything else was just like a drag as usual.
Yeah, I felt the show was pretty, basic. Their basic, you know, dramedy that they do. I see that they're trying to bring, what's her name? Jeez. The one that was married to, that just recently got a divorce. That was with Kenya. Um, Oh God,
Cynthia.
Cynthia. Yeah, thank you so much, Cynthia. I see they're trying to bring her back a little bit on this season, but aren't they almost over? Isn't the season almost over? It was a little
Yeah.
boring and hard to follow.
Totally agree. That's just the best way to describe it. Hard to follow. It's like, what is going on? What is the point of the show? It just
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense at all. And you're right. It seems like they are trying to force Cynthia in there. Now, at the end of the season, you realize you don't have anything going. So now you're going to try to force her in there. She just looks so out of place. Like, why would she show? Is she friends with Drew? Why would Drew invite her to that event?
yeah, and I
They
didn't know that
probably
she was.
forced to invite her. Production probably production led, if I'm being honest.
Well,
Exactly.
I didn't know her and Shereé was hanging that tight to where she would go to Sheree's birthday party.
Good point.
I don't know. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Maybe the plan is to try and see if the audience still want to see Cynthia to determine whether or not to bring her in for the next season.
Hmm. Well, that's
Well,
only if they lose the clown. Not my circus, not my monkeys.
oh my god. Oh, okay. Going into the episode now, like, really, literally, I agree that it was only this mental health stuff having to talk. I think that was the storyline of Drew, and I think the only reason Drew brought her sister into the Real Housewives is because she doesn't have any storyline, and she knows that this her sister's storyline is literally going to help her look like a good person. And that is
Right.
why she brought in her sister. Because if her sister was not here to talk about or go into this journey of on mental health, what else would Drew have? Nothing. Nothing but her lies that she keeps on telling. So I felt like her sister helped her gain, helped her a lot.
Yeah, so I agree that her sister is definitely helping like public perception of her a little bit, but I don't think that it was that methodical. I don't think Drew is that methodical, and I don't think it is something in her mind that she's thinking, "Oh, this is an intentional thing." I just think it's something that just probably thought, oh, this sounds like a good story, could help people. Let me bring her on the show. I don't think, I think it was probably a little bit of a shock for her for this whole her and Latoya situation to come up again this season. So I don't think it's premeditated at all, but I do agree that it is definitely helping slightly, but yeah, I just don't think it's intentional.
I like the way that they did show, the sister kind of recovering from mental health, yet she's still sensitive on
Mhm.
some areas, because women as women, We go through things, and to know that other women are going through it, and we're not the first, we're not going to be the last, but hell, we can all be victorious
Hmm.
of how we handle our healing, you know so I thought that it was good to show, you know because back in the day, they chain you to a bed, medicate the crap out of you. you know it's not these centers that they have now. I tried once to get my nephew into mental health place, drug rehab, but he left 3 days later. So everybody is not going to want the help, but the people that do want the help, you know, I just hope that they come out as victors of that.
Yeah. Oh, I was happy that it came up. Actually, I was, but there was something I also noticed in this episode. I don't know whether it was me, but I felt like Ross was not really happy when he was told about the pregnancy. I'm sorry, but that was how I felt. That he wasn't really that happy. Like I didn't. I'm not saying he wasn't happy, but
He didn't
I
seem
don't
that
know. There's
excited.
there was this excitement I expected to see. Like, yeah, I'm going to be a new father. I didn't get it from him, but I was like, maybe it's just my eyes, or I was just expecting too much. That was just what I thought.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I did see that he didn't seem as like excited, but sometimes it could just be the way he expresses himself. And the other thing I was curious about, and maybe like people who have children could tell us this, is is it because it's not the first? Because I know like when it's the first, most people seem like super, super excited. So I don't know if that's like, could that be why? So if anyone has children, maybe someone can clarify that if that's a thing.
Well, I have children, and I have never witnessed a guy that I've dealt with that was happy. Because the first thing black men think about is money flying out their pockets. And I'm talking about the average Joe. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I've never experienced that, and that's sad. That makes me sad, because I was happy. You know,
Yeah.
got good girls, went to college, doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I raised some strong black women. You know,
I was thinking maybe it was a reenactment, because I was wondering, did she really
Oh,
tell him that? Yeah, I think maybe that was a reenactment, but it was nice to see him again.
yeah. No, I think you might be right. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Actually, good call. Yeah.
So, Miss Lana, do you have anything to say?
Hi everybody.
Hi.
So I didn't get
Hi.
that feeling from him because I think they remade that scene more than once. It was quite obvious because the way he opened the book, the way the whole thing, it was just reenacted. So you can't fix something twice. That was just the feeling I got from him. So I don't really think he was unhappy. It was just too obvious that they had shot that scene prior and probably they didn't like the way it turned out. Just as the same way, even the parent scene, it just looked like everything, it was just remade a second time. So everybody could not pretend as much. That's just how it came across to me.
But did you notice the way immediately when she went to her sister, the first thing she said was, "We're getting a house. We're looking into a house." Like she didn't want any extra talk. She just told
She
her
was
straight.
like, let's
Wait,
not get to it. Mm-mm. Don't think that now that you're pregnant, that means I'm gonna have to stay in this house and look after the kid for you. She was like, no, no, we found somewhere. I
yeah,
thought,
but what I found a little strange is, all of a sudden Sonya's like, oh yeah, I'll get a housekeeper or whatever she said, somebody, a nanny. Like,
mm,
why wasn't you doing that from the get?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't understand that. Because first thing I thought of was like, well, what is she about to do? You know what I'm saying? Who gonna watch the baby? Because we know she ain't. You know. So when she said, "Oh, I'm gonna get a nanny," I'm like, wow.
So you
Well,
could add
why
a
couldn't you
nanny.
provide that when your sister was there?
Mm,
If you wanted an assistant out of your sister,
mm.
you want her to wear too many hats here.
And that's probably why the sister always comes across as being so frustrated.
Yeah, I would be.
Mm. Yeah, no, totally.
But um, but do you think Saya will be able to handle it now that her sister has made up her mind and her family is moving over with her sister? Do you think she'll be able to handle it? I don't know. But I don't I she might, because I felt that um it's it's not the right decision for them, because Ross is very busy. She's always busy. How are they going to handle their child? Is because me, I'm not a believer of you give birth to a child and your nanny is literally training up your child and you are busy doing whatever you want to do. So I don't know if they'll be able to handle that child now that his sister is no longer in the picture. The family is no longer in it. It's not only the sister is no longer in the picture. The mom and dad are moving with the sister to the
Right.
new house. So she has
Hmm.
no support system again.
Yeah.
I
That
I
is
honestly
gone.
believe they will come back and help her. Like I feel like they're going to come back and help her even if it's temporary, because I think once they see how she's probably not going to be able to handle it, like because I just think about if my family members or someone in my family was going through that, and even if I had said, oh, I'm leaving and whatnot and I've moved out, if they really needed my help with taking care of the children, like I think my initial reaction would be, okay, come for a temporary period, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Maybe we'll do it like mom comes this time, sister comes the next month, something like that. Like an arrangement that can work until she can find some support or something like that. But I don't think they'll leave her to like just figure it out on her own, to be honest.
Yeah, but you got to realize. Remember, her husband said he wanted them to be by themselves. So how's he gonna feel with them getting their place and then coming back just to help for months at a time?
I
It's
don't feel
basically
that's
the same
this
thing.
point. I know what you mean, but I feel like if he's gone, if I were Sanya and he's gone all the time, like I'm sorry, I'm going to get whatever help I can get because you're not there to help me.
Right, right. And especially the way she likes jumping on planes to this city and this state, and you
Hmm.
know, she's moving a lot for two kids, a kid and a half.
Yeah.
So, Lana, you don't have anything to.
Honestly, I'm bored of this Saya and her husband storyline. Can we just move?
Uche, you
Because
know
we
what?
all know
What's
she's going to
funny?
get help. Like, it's quite obvious. I
Yeah.
really do not see any problem with someone getting help because I'm of the opinion that women, because definitely the husband is going to leave her to take care of the kid because he travels a lot. So I don't think she should stress herself to prove that she's a good mother. Get as many help as you can, but just watch them while they take care of the kids. I don't know why you have to suffer yourself to prove that you're a good mom when you can hire help and you can afford to watch them with baby cams and all that stuff. I just don't believe in suffering. I mean, she's rich, she can afford it. I just will do what she wants.
Hmm.
Oh, these people.
Exactly. These people.
Yeah.
And why is the show now all of a sudden turning into all eyes on Drew? It's like this is the Drew show now all of a sudden. I guess there was really nothing else going on.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do get sick of seeing those two together. I mean, you can quite tell that he is just not interested in the marriage.
Yep. Did you
You
guys see
know?
the comment about Barack and Obama? I was just like, just say you want to be by yourself and you don't
Yeah,
want to have a wife.
exactly. And then the one he picked, Tina and Ike Turner. Like I laughed when I heard that. I had to chuckle because I was like, that was all bad. You know? Oh God.
Yeah. And it's like every date night, every event they show us where they're together, it's just there is no love there from him. It's like she's grasping and holding on and but yeah, yeah.
You could tell she's not interested either.
Yeah, I think she's gotten to the
Exactly.
point now that she's tired. She's done.
Yeah.
And
You
who
know,
wouldn't be dealing with someone like that? I'm surprised it took her this long, frankly.
yeah, I think as soon as I would have heard that little gay rumor, I would have been out. It'd have been deuces for me because I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Any speculation, I am out. So it amazes me that she stayed, you know. I mean, like, who has the money between them? Because it has to be about the clout, the way you live in. Me, I could care less. I'll go live in a shopping cart before I let somebody disrespect me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've walked away from a lot more just for my sanity and my well-being, my mental well-being. Oh, and plus I didn't want to go to prison.
That's always
You said you want to go to prison.
No, I
Man,
didn't. I mean, I didn't care, but at that moment I was like, I gotta raise these girls. So that was my number one. I had to raise my girls. So the girls are raised, so gloves off. Or should I say
I,
gloves
I,
on?
I kept on telling myself, like, why are they together? Like, it, there is no single atom of love between these two. In short, I don't even think there is even an atom of likeness.
No, they remind me
I don't,
more of roommates, buddies, homies.
yeah, roommates is even close.
Yeah.
yeah. I think Drew is holding on because I think sometimes, and I found this, of course, this can't be in all cases, so big disclaimer before anyone comes for me, but in sometimes when people grow up in like a two-parent household where parents have been married for a long time, they tend to, and then when they get into their own marriages, sometimes they tend to feel like hold on to stuff hoping that they can achieve that same length and things can go even though it's not going well in this marriage. They tend to try
Right.
and hold on just because they want to stay together because they feel like a failure because their marriage is on the brink basically. And so I feel like in the bid to try and replicate what their parents had or what they feel like they should have, they end up staying and putting up with crap. In all fairness, I have seen growth in Drew with respect to the marriage itself. Initially, when she first came on the show, I don't think she even understood that this guy, I can't remember his name, Ralph, was gaslighting her the whole time. It
Hmm.
took people being on social media saying he's gaslighting you, people all over the internet, people on the show saying he's gaslighting you, for her to start thinking, wait, this man is actually gaslighting me. And then going into therapy, and the fact that she's continued to stay in therapy shows that she do the work. But the thing is, you can't save a marriage by yourself. The other person has to want to save the marriage as well. But this man never wanted to do that. I think it should have probably been a sign when he said he was going to adopt her son and then suddenly changed his mind but was still writing books about parenting the son.
Hmm.
That should have been a tell sign that this wasn't solid because he didn't want to be tied down to an additional kid if he knew the marriage was already rocky to begin with, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I would have been gone when I would have knew that you were out of town and you didn't want to tell me exactly where you were staying and how many people were occupying that room? See, I would have had problems right then and there. It'd have been a no for me and a no for you because I know we wouldn't have been together anymore. Nope.
Yeah, and think about the height of disrespect and like what if something serious actually happened to him? Like they have children together and for you to pick up and leave, not contact her, nothing,
Yeah.
she can't reach you and you have children together is insane. You're wicked.
Yeah. He was off on a weekend rendezvous. And that's when they were saying it might have been a man.
mm, mm-mm.
And the disrespect that he did literally give her during the what they call it, the
Oh,
mental health stuff,
and
that
oh,
he went, oh my god, I felt bad for her. He literally went and hugged everybody there, and as in he did as if he was blind to her. And that was awful because everybody noticed. Everybody like, isn't he seeing Drew? And Drew went to him like, hey, hubby. And he just, as in, even if I'm annoyed with my spouse, I don't think I'll be that ruthless in public.
it's like you're cruel to her. It's one thing to be upset at someone. You're still like, yeah, you can be a little cold, but you still hug them and say, hi, hi. You know what I mean? But like, you hug everyone else, including so called Marlo that you had an issue with just a couple of episodes, or how many episodes ago? And all of a sudden, you're out here hugging everyone and not your wife. Like, that's rude. That's disrespectful. Also, like, it's like you already know that these women don't even rate your wife to begin with, and they're going to clown her about this thing. Yes, you're doing that to embarrass her. It's like you're her up.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty disrespectful because, excuse me, if I'm with somebody and I'm arriving later, I'm going to go directly to my mate and say, hey, babe, I'm here. Give me a hug. I miss you. And then, hey, everybody, as I'm walking through to get to my mate, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey, hey, hey. But I'm saying this as I'm walking towards my mate. So to see that was pretty odd. Like he just like was just bored of her. Like, hey, I've seen you earlier. These are new faces. Hey, everybody, let me get my hug in. Let me get my hug in. You know, and just completely ignored her and her advances of trying to get his attention.
In all fairness to him, though, I want to, you know, flip this back a little bit. Did you notice that she walked past him and hugged Ross?
I don't really think she walked past him because they were both. He was actually at the back of the person she hugged first. It
I
just looked that way from the camera like position, because
maybe
when they replayed it the second time, he was still at the back of who was the guy she even hugged first? Was he
Ross,
not
Ross,
Sonya's husband?
yeah, Ross.
Yeah. So he was at the back of the dude because I looked from the side. He was at the back of Ross. And when he came forward and she was like, hi, he ignored her. So it's not like if she had walked up to him, it would have been more of an embarrassment because he would have avoided her like face to face. So yeah.
Because I didn't see that playback, but the way it was shown, it looks like she hugged Ross. So he was standing in front of her, and then Ross was standing slightly
Nah.
behind.
He was
Then
he was not in front. I wish someone can replay the video. He was not in front. He was at the side, a little backwards from Ross. Because I replayed that scene 2 times just to make, because I too thought that she hugged Ross and
mm,
ignored him. But then I replayed it and I realized that no, he was actually at the back of Ross, but just at the side. So that's why it sort of looked like he was like ahead. But when they replayed it, I saw that, oh, no, no, no. He was actually at the back of us.
Okay, so when they replayed it, right?
Plus,
Because even
regardless of that, even
yes,
if like that was an embarrassing scene for someone you claim to be your wife, I've known couples that like fight against each other in private, but in public we should always be a
united
united
front,
front.
100%, 100%, completely agree with that. The thing I was so that's interesting. I think I'll go back and watch it again. But when I saw it, I actually thought what's the name of the guy? Ross was slightly behind, and then the other guy, Ralph, was slightly in front. But even if that's the case, even if that's what happened, because I don't know if you picked up in his words as well. He was sort of saying she hugged someone else first or something like that. Did you hear that?
Yes, he did make that statement,
He
but
made that
that's a
statement,
foolish
right?
statement to make because okay, she hugged somebody first, but then you hugged multiple people before you even
So
waited till she
either way,
went to
a
you.
hundred
It that,
percent.
that is not a tit for tat thing. There's like no excuse. It's just like me seeing my friend, then my friend goes to hug somebody first, then I ignore my friend. I'm not even using my partner, and I then walk
Mm-hmm.
around the entire room, greeting everybody, even people that I'm not that close with. Then I wait for my friend to then be like, "Oh my God, Ucha," and I'm like, "Oh hi, I didn't see you." That's so dumb. Like, there's no excuse. You He was going to publicly humiliate her. No,
That's
either
exactly.
way, it's because she said it and she knew that. That was why she was comfortable enough to go meet him later because she's used to the abuse and mentally she did not even know that he was mocking her because he has done this several times.
100%. And that's the thing. My point is, even if that happened, he still had no reason to do that. There is no reason for you to publicly humiliate your wife like that. There is no reason. And the thing is, if you notice, Ralph is very, very, very petty. Petty. And
Huh.
I'm either way, there is no reason for you to do that. And you know what was so sad? If you actually looked at the way Drew looked after like hubby, it was almost like she was craving his it was like she was trying to get his attention. And I was just like, this is so sad that you have been reduced to this point where this man is humiliating you and embarrassing you and you're trying to get his attention. And I'm just like, in a way, I'm glad she's kicked him to the curb or whatever, has happened because the level of disrespect is mad.
I don't even know, like, do you like with the way this their divorce thing went on? To be honest, I don't necessarily think she divorced this guy because of her like public image or anything. I think she divorced him because it was getting too much. Maybe like the embarrassment was getting too much because from the episodes, she still really, really likes this guy. And if I'm seeing this lady, if what's his name? I keep forgetting his name so much.
Ross.
Ra- Ralph, yes. If he comes
Oh,
back and acts a little nice to her, I won't be shocked if she runs back.
the truth is, did you watch? I think it was Watch What Happens Live or something like that, right? And when she was talking about the marriage, you can tell that she doesn't want to leave this man. She still wants this man. She is getting a divorce because she feels like there is no other option. And I think also she's trying to get his attention because deep down she's hoping that he would probably come back and be like, let's work on it.
Well, he doesn't seem that interested in
He really
fixing
does.
or mending anything. He looks like he's 1 foot out the door.
Yeah, and it's so sad because I think like when I think back to when we first saw her on the show, it's not like we've ever really seen them like have like joyous, beautiful moments like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I think with like the other couple, well, there's only one of well, actually no, it's two, Candy and
They've
Sanya.
been toxic from
But
start.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. Like, it feels like from day one, like, I can't sit here and think, oh my God, there was a point where I thought they were cute together and things were going well. It just feels like since the first time we've seen them, it's just been toxicity on steroids from day one.
Did you also notice this part where he greeted this
Yes.
lady? And for me, I thought he was flirting. I'm sorry. I felt he was flirting. And the both of them, the eyes they
I
were
think
giving each
both
other
of
felt like
don't know, both of them, their interaction was weird to me.
it was weird. And I was like, is this Drew's friend? If your friend could be like this with your husband, you need to send her away from your husband. I found that inappropriate in every way because I was like, how is this Drew's friend and you are like this to her husband? Like she was like looking at him from head to toe. Like I'm like, no.
It was giving something has happened between them before kind of thing. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I don't
Exactly.
like
I didn't
it.
like the way he said, "Hey, bae."
Yeah,
First off,
I was
why
like,
are you calling her bae?
I was just like, nah, they're too chimey. Like, what is going on? What's too chummy? Mm-mm.
Th-
Yeah, that
This
was
this
just.
this whole event is just funny. And one other part that was funnier to me was that I was trying to get there was at the I think I have it on my slide when they were all on the table. I think when okay, first let's talk about this Drew and her husband telling different versions, or should I say the same version but in different ways of the court case. Like Kandi said, how did it go from ten or $8,000 to $10,000? It doesn't make sense how it went like that. From she saying that the lady was suing her for $1,000 to $10,000. I'm sorry, I'm trying to say this, but the story was not Susan adding up. How did she come from being a chef? Then you were like, okay, we have another job to be a nanny. Then she wasn't connecting with your kids. The story, because the first time she said it, she didn't say that. She said she came as a chef and it didn't go as planned. Now they were like, oh, she came to cook for us. Then we saw hairs and everything. Somebody that you brought to your house. Now, this is why I question their stories. You brought someone to your house to be a chef for you, and you ended up seeing hairs on the food. Why would you still tell the person, oh, I have another job since you're not good in this? We have a nanny job for you. I don't think it's possible. It's not realistic. I'm sorry. That was why the story was like, why are they lying? Especially Drew. Then Drew went from it was from $1,000 to the lady asking for $10,000. And in the court documents that they showed, it was clearly showing $1,000.
So the thing is, so just one big point that I wanted to talk about this 10,000 to 1,000 thing, right? So I feel like I need to figure out. I hope that they ask her that question in the reunion. The reason why I say that is sometimes you get into like legal disputes with people, and initially they might be like, "Oh, my thing is 1,000 and stuff," and then later on be like, "Oh, I want this as well for compensation." But then when they file the suit against you, they talk about the specific amount, right, of their invoice and whatnot, and whether or not they want added damages or compensation of some sort, right?
Right.
So I feel like I need some more context regarding that, if that makes any sense. Like in relation to that, was it something where, like, okay, initially she was trying to like be like, okay, my bill is 1,000, and then because they didn't pay, because I don't know if you guys picked up on the fact that she said a year later she then took it to court. So is it 1,000 was the amount of the invoice, and then the person is saying that she wanted compensation because of how long it took to I guess get their invoice paid or whatnot, right? Interest of some sort. Maybe it's just my legal background that is making me think about or ask these questions, but I just think that's something that needs to be clarified in like at the reunion, and I hope Andy should ask her, because it's not adding up. Everything, like, there are gaps in the story that needs to be clarified.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree because when you're suing for $1,000, that's small claims court.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go into a criminal courts building or superior courts building, to get that handled. You can fill out the papers, get them stamped, and go to your date of your hearing. And so I don't understand how it got from 1,000 all the way up to 10,000. Not unless, as you said, is they're doing pain and suffering, and it's not, and it shouldn't really be attorney fees added in that, not unless she went and seeked out an attorney to do her paperwork.
What me I'm talking about is that the fact that her story is not adding up. The first time she said, um, it was the story she said what made the lady sue them to court was she came as a chef and it didn't work out for them. Now she's coming to say that she came as a chef, the food was hairy and there were a lot of things, and they were like, okay, we have another job for you as a nanny. And I'm like, it is unrealistic because I will not bring you in as a chef and I see how untidy you are with food. And I would think in my head, oh, okay, fine. I want to, offer you a nanny job. The only part I'm not even saying probably she later they're filing for 10K or not. I'm just saying the story is not adding up. The story is not storying at all.
I mean, if you can't be my look, you're not gonna be in my house and hold different titles as a female. First off, and first off, I would have been familiar with your food before you came into my crib. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't understand that part. And then now I'm hearing you say that she offered her a position as a nanny for her kids. No, ma'am, you will not. Like, how did your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches taste? Like, uh-uh. You're not gonna get all that from me. And that's just who I am, though.
Shop reality, I see here with us. Not said anything since.
No, I'm here. I'm just listening. Because I really, I'm enjoying the conversation because I really do not enjoy the show this season. It's not very good. Not interested in any of these characters. But no, I'm listening to you guys. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Well, let's talk about when the ladies were all seated in, the table having lunch. Or sorry, it's not this one. I didn't even want to talk about this because it's a waste of time.
Well, I do have a comment on that one. So I was saying
Okay.
before with Cynthia, for them to bring Shamia on, I mean, that was so random. Like, why is Shamia necessary if you don't have Portia? You don't have Portia, then what do you need Shamia for? So, like again, as I said before, they must have realized they didn't have much to offer, so they bring Cynthia in, and then to have this random conversation with Shamia. And if she's such good friends with Kenya, how come she had never been to the house? That's all I have to say.
I thought Shamia was Candy's friend, though.
I think she was both of their friends,
Well, she
Candy
started off
and
as Candy's friend.
I thought she went to high school with Portia, didn't she?
Yeah, so they were best friends from high school.
Okay.
And came on the show as Portia's friend initially, and then somehow in the more recent seasons, we saw that they changed it to Candy's friend. Uh,
Oh, okay.
but yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about when they were on the table. I'm trying to look for the slide, the picture. Now, I felt a certain kind of way when okay, I don't think I have it here. I don't know what is Moyetta's space in the season of Law and Ready to Love. I say Ready to Love, Three Housewives, because I don't understand. She's only either telling on people did or saying secrets out that she's not supposed to say. I've not seen any relevant things she has done on this season than, oh, I heard you call this person a this. Oh, you talked about this person in a certain way. Oh, she said this thing about you. Is that the only job she has on the Real Housewives?
Well, I feel like if she didn't do that, she didn't really bring anything else to the show, if I'm being honest. I feel like, in a way, it's almost like because this is her first proper season with a peach, she's trying so hard to like find where she fits in. And it's almost like she's taking the role of bone collector, but clearly not collecting the bones properly. Because how is it that you're just saying the B comment now when you already had the chat with the ladies prior, but you never brought up the comment about her calling her a B? Honestly, this whole season just feels very petty. It feels like we're all back in high school, and yeah, we just have to watch the mean girls fight. Like, yeah, I really am not enjoying the season either. If I'm being honest, but yeah.
Because I did not understand why she had to say that. It wasn't relevant. It wasn't at all. And I felt like she was just trying to stir the pot. And they replayed it. Now I want to ask you, when they replayed it, who did you think she was calling the B word? Was it she was talking about, because when she said the B word, the arrow was pointing at this lady, Shiba Sheree. It was pointing at Sheree that she was talking about Sheree. But did you think she literally did call um her cousins, I mean cousin-in-law, what I don't know what to call it. Did she call Drew the B word? Because I don't think she called Drew the B word.
I think it's one of those things where with editing you never know. But I think even if she did, I don't think it was in the way in
The
which Monyetta was.
the B word was actually directed to Sanya. So because the arrow was pointing at Sanya,
Yeah, I
or
think
what people said.
yeah, and if even if she did call her, right? Did you notice when she was like be at the table again? She said be this, right? I don't think even if she said it in reference to Drew, I don't think it was with malicious intent. I think it's just like when you're like relaying a story and you're like, oh, that B did this. Like as opposed to like an intentional thing, if at all it was in relation to Drew. That's what I think. And Pretty Brown Eyes, I completely couldn't agree more.
Well,
Yeah,
I also think that the B word was not meant to be like an insult. Just like how Marlo was trying to explain it, like, oh, I say B, you're beautiful. Oh, you B, you're this. Oh, just like joke. It's like something that is known. Like I didn't understand why she now went ahead and just like said it as if it was like a big thing. Like I'm beginning to dislike her a lot on the season because she's always the trouble. She's always saying, "Oh, we heard I heard this about you," and she's always in these conversations. That's what's more upsetting.
yeah, she just doesn't have a storyline in there. I mean, after she taught Kenya her little dance routine and, took her for candy now, and that was basically it for her. So she's just, like you guys said, trying to find out where she fits in.
Well, I hope she fits in well. Well, did you see the part? Like Marlo made me laugh in this episode when she called out Drew. What did they call that? Is it Drew Walk something? I don't know. That she said it's not.
Drop
I'm trying to get her. Oh, Drew, drop it with Drew. The way she said it, she said,
Website.
Drop it with Drew was dropped down. Oh my god, Marlo. She is like she doesn't care about what you feel. Like she says it how she feels it.
But you know what's funny? I'm for the Pretty Girl LLC that Malu says she owns. Remember that reunion when they were trying to ask her how she made her money, and she was saying something about this pretty girl dot something something, and no one could find it.
Mm.
I'm just saying, like, it's a bit rich coming from her.
Well, they are always shading each other. So I felt this is the time she just used to shade um Drew.
Well, I don't mean to shame Drew or anything, but you know, that drop it with Drew is like really bumming me out because I was looking at her on her date with Ralph and those jeans, girl, she looked like old lady jeans with no booty. Her butt ran into her thighs. You know, just a straight. I like she has no shape whatsoever to be advertising that she works out. I don't see the results. You know what I'm saying?
Not the results.
Yeah, I don't see it. You know, she got a gut like a pot belly basketball been drinking beer gut, you know, and I don't see any,
OMG.
yeah, I don't see any type of results. You know, she has an acetone problem. No ass at all.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do exercises that's gonna build up the upper thigh, because once you build up that upper thigh, it helps build up that gluteus maximum muscle. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, 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 yes. Um, yeah. I think it's one of those things. Like the gut, I think I get because she said she had some sort of health condition that affects how her belly looks. So that's something she has mentioned. But
Change.
like,
Okay, but change your diet. Change your diet and exercise.
mhm. Yeah, because even the exercise that they were supposedly doing, that did not look like exercise to me. It just looked
That
so
was no exercise.
disorganized. Like if I did this, like I would probably no. This ain't gonna work for me.
That
No.
was not exercise. That was just I was just
That
playing. They
was
were just playing around.
I'll be honest, like I was like maybe they just did that for fun because that can't be drop it with Drew because I would understand why no one is losing weight.
And didn't
Like,
Marlo prove that the website was down?
mm-hmm.
She did. But Marlo is something else. The way when they were in the meditation room and she was like, I don't know, these people are their feet are smelling. Like I was like, what? Marlo, take it down. Like she wasn't concentrated at all. If every other person was meditating, she wasn't meditating. She was busy trying to sniff who was smelling there or who didn't put up deodorant after working out.
Yeah,
Marlo.
pretty brown eyes says she hasn't lost the baby weight, but isn't the baby like almost 5?
Oh my goodness. Is it the little girl? She is
You're
so
Well,
cute.
well,
justifying the
yeah,
pressure.
that's the
Right.
last baby, right?
Oh
She
Lord.
can talk, she can talk, she can chew on her own. She has full conversations. Like,
Did she wasn't she skating outside one day?
I think so.
Braha said, and Ralph keeps her stressed out, being the narcissist a-hole that he is. I'm surprised that she can even function. Ah, wow, that's something. But,
Yeah.
but but talking about people that surprised me in this episode, the biggest surprise in this episode was it's a go to Sheree.
Mm.
She by Sheree. My God, I did not believe my ears. When does beautiful lady,
I know where you're going with this.
this beautiful lady right here,
Mm,
decided by herself that
mm,
she was going to, stand for Martell and
mm.
say, when it was asked for the birthday stuff, I was like, oh, you got me this money. And you didn't
Spring,
see.
summer,
She felt
September.
guilty. She
Mm,
felt because if my man got me cheap stuff, yeah, he got me this. It's over. Don't ask me why. But because she felt guilty, she had to explain further. He doesn't like gifting people those high end expensive. I was like, no, get off from my screen. That is a bullshit lie.
did you
You
hear when
are
I was comparing and saying Mattel was a good man? I'm like, girl, I don't know what cool drunk because I don't get it. Like Mattel is a good man. Wow. Okay. And honestly, I was so embarrassed for her when she sat there and said, "Oh, he doesn't like gift high end brands." It was giving me when they were asking her questions about why her website does not work right, or all that questions about her She by Shein, like all those, like, you see how she always responds, always coming, joggers are coming in spring, summer, September. That's what it was giving, and I was like, "Sis, stop lying. That man didn't get you anything. Stop lying. He did not buy. I don't believe he bought her a bag. I honestly don't believe that."
Well, how could he
ex-
buy her back when they said that he was cash apping everybody at the little luncheon
For a
for
exactly.
their
thousand
part
five
of the
hundred,
money
I can say that.
for the
Like,
bill?
what the
So
hell?
I don't get
Like
that.
how when she even gave the excuse that he doesn't like gifting high end, expensive stuff. I was like, how
You're
could he? How can he? He couldn't even pay for your dinner for your birthday. So why would he be able to afford an expensive bag if he couldn't pay for your birthday dinner? It's not
That was
possible.
1,500. Like, a
Like
regular person can pay 1,500. Are you serious? 1,000,
I'm telling you.
and you're meant to be a millionaire. Yeah.
You're meant to be, according to his profile, he's $20 million net worth.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine you
What?
having that kind of net worth and you have nothing to show for it.
Not
That
limited.
is,
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
I. Fizzy Brother said he's still wearing the same shoes from season one.
But he's over
Oh
in
my
London
god!
right now. He's over in London. Like, I wonder
Oh
how he got there. Who knew he
my
had a passport? And Miss Wanda has a passport too. Who knew?
Mm. Mm-mm.
Man, I was literally like I was so pissed off that she was like standing up for this guy. Like when she called him when she was grooming her dog, and was like, "Hey, oh, do you know where I am?" I was like, please. At that moment, I didn't even know when I said to myself, I said, please, you guys should stop with this using trying to tell us your relationship is real. We know it's
Like, we all know
fake.
that.
We know it's fake. Why are you working hard? Why should you work so hard for this kind of relationship? Like, if I was Shereé, I would not defend Martell right there because everybody on that table knew that he asked them to cash out them. I know Martell could say that because he has no single shame.
Yeah, but then at Sheree. Sheree also does not pay people. So, it's not like she's embarrassed.
Then why
Shame is
invite people? I mean, why invite people to your function if you're not gonna, pay for the bill? Why didn't he just take her out separately, just the two of them, if he didn't want to, fund everybody else's meal?
that time was the time they were trying to make it known to everybody, like they were trying to deceive themselves, not any other person. They were trying to make the relationship like blown, like, okay, yes, we are really in a relationship. It's in your faces. We are seeing it. Like that was then they were always posting pictures together, doing together, going to dinners together. So I feel it was that period. trying to deceive themselves that they were in a relationship, and they're trying to deceive the whole world that they were in a relationship, and they had to do all those things. Because now, way then and now, they don't do that, because now they're not fooling anybody. We all know that the relationship is nowhere. So now they don't have to do that. She doesn't have to call Martell to come for anything again, because we all know that it's a fake. Then they were trying to like make people realize, really, oh yes, this relationship is true. Because the first time the information leaked that Martell was probably dating Shereé, people didn't want to believe, because people were like, why would Shereé want to date Martell? That union was not looking
And I'm
plausible.
sorry, it's the worst decision that she could have ever made, in my opinion, because it makes her look even more stupid than we thought she looked to begin with, right? Like, of all the
Mhm.
people that you can choose, you choose this man that is openly abusive, rude, shameless, broke, allegedly. Everything is alleged, right? Right? And then you take all of, and then you decide, oh, let's bring him on this national platform so that he can be my partner and embarrass me. Like, what did you think he would do?
Exactly. And I feel like the reason why they were able to work, that was Shereé and Martell, is because I just realized in this episode, I realized that the both of them are shameless.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't shame the shameless.
Sure.
You know,
So
Sheree always makes excuses for whoever she's, whatever loser
She's
that
too
she
old for
dates.
ish, man. Like, she should be grown enough. Like, would she ever allow her daughter to date a man like Mattel? Let's talk about it.
I doubt it.
Exactly. So it's like, do you think your children want to see mommy looking stupid yet again for the third time on reality TV show? Like, why can't mommy get it right for once?
I,
Or
I don't
maybe
I don't I don't even know who gave her the idea of saying, okay, amongst all the men, just look at Mattel. Oh, or are we going to be deceived by Mattel's sex appeal? Remember the first, is it the first episode? When
When
they
they
were
were
like,
trying to, in those
you know,
boxes,
where he was pulling up his trousers, and we were like, ooh, oh
you
my
know,
God.
big D
Oh my
energy. I'm like,
God.
I don't see
Big
no
D,
prints.
yeah,
I
big
don't
D
see no print.
energy.
I don't see no prints. So no, I don't believe that.
I was like, you see, I was like, now that's what they want to show us. I know most of us, we know of Marcel's bad characters, and the things he has done. Why would I be, even if he has a big D energy, why would I be interested in that? Is that what I'm going to survive on? Is that what I'm going to live on? Is that what my future is all about? Big D energy, then what's up? Nothing. He has nothing to offer. He doesn't have money. At least if Marcel was like a true millionaire, or we would say, okay, fine, she's there for the money. We would understand. It will still be like a plausible explanation. But he's not rich. She's better off than him when it comes to money. So what exactly did she see in the guy that she decided that I want to go to this guy? I literally want to date him, whether by it's a real relationship, it's a fake relationship, it's just a relationship for the papers. Any of them was a terrible mistake, because she is far off better than Martell in every way, monetary, in their fame. Martell was just going there for, okay, I've seen someone that is higher than my ex-wife. Let me go there, leech on her to see whether I could grow my fame bigger than it is right now.
Yeah, do you know what I personally think? I feel like Mattel approached her. She saw an opportunity and thought, hmm, he's good looking. Maybe I can bring him on the show. Anything would be better than Tyrone or whatever her ex's name was, right? And she saw an arrangement because Mattel needed some good publicity, thinking about all the things he's done in Huntsville, right? So no one liked him there. So he was trying to get some good publicity. But then I don't think she anticipated that he was going to be unruly and then things will escalate with all the extra things happening in the background. So now she looks like a fool.
Well, she definitely looks thirsty to me. You know what I'm saying? And she's
100%.
dating Huntsville's clown, or pretending to date him. It's not a good look. He's a hound. She looks thirsty, and he looks like a male hoe.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So I, I didn't like the idea of either one of them together. Because I thought maybe she had learned her lesson. Dating these guys. And then really dating a guy that's in prison. Like, was that a true story, or like what was going on with that? Because wasn't that the same guy that Nene had dated too?
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I thought they were arguing about him at one time or
Oh,
another.
eh, mm. Oh, I don't remember the specifics. So I'm not sure on that one. Um, but yeah, it's just like, oh, seriously. I
Yeah,
think.
I think Nene was. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think Nene was
No, that's
dating him the time when she left Greg. When
okay.
Greg had stepped out, she was dating Tyrone.
Oh,
And then later on, Shereé ended up hooking up with Tyrone, and Nene had made a mention of it about her leftovers or something.
oh, I need to go back and look at that.
Hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Pretty brown eyes, like both of them are broke, pretending to be rich, in my opinion.
Wouldn't
Oh my god!
would
And she
not
said
be surprised.
she showed up hungry and figured production would pay for his meal.
Mm.
Wow!
Yes, probably. They probably thought that. That makes
Oh,
sense.
But
okay.
why would production pay for your birthday dinner? Like,
If it was going to be
If it's going to
filmed.
be filmed,
Yes.
yeah. Mm. And then
really?
plot twist, production was like, hell nah.
Uh, and the fact that the both of them are always claiming to be this rich personalities. Okay, you want to you, but I feel I don't know. I'm kind of confused. You want production to pay for you, then you invited Cynthia, you invited Sanya, you invited a lot of people. You do not even have pity and said, okay, let it be an intimate dinner between me and my alleged boyfriend. Why did you have to bring other ladies into that formation? Like,
And I think production would have paid for that one because they would figure we want to see them together to actually verify whether or not this is real.
how Martell?
Yeah. I feel
I
like
feel
production would have paid to see both of them at dinner together.
I feel like production themselves, they know between
Yeah.
themselves that the
Yeah.
relationship is not real.
But the thing is, to be fair, Bravo does not really have an issue exposing that. Does that make sense? Because the thing is,
Yeah.
Shereé tends to be on pause every now and then anyway. So it wouldn't be hard to show that, oh, this is fake and then put her on pause.
Do you think he might be in the reunion? You know, they
I,
always come with their men. Will he be in the reunion?
I hope not because this is a joke at this point, right? Like, I really hope not. But I won't be surprised if they bring him on the reunion.
He should come and tell his own side of why the relationship crumbled.
Oh God, he will just come up with some dumbass story between them, like, and then
Oh,
he would say something else, and then she'll be stuttering. It's like clearly you don't even know how to lie, so you need to just stay away from lying because you're always stuttering.
Well,
well, I
aren't they
don't
together in the next scene?
Hmm?
I'm not saying aren't they together in the next episode at some type of
yeah,
gathering?
that's for the I think she was having a she pulled together a in this episode she was calling him and he said he on his way. He was in the airport coming over to meet her. So she was organizing a party, so he's going to be there. And I'm like, oh, so we're gonna finally see Martell. And don't understand. I don't know. Did anybody watch the preview? I didn't understand why Kenya wanted to stalk with Martell for a minute. I don't get that.
I suspect she's trying to clear the air and just be like, "Oh, I apologize" or whatever. Um, but in any event, like, because I know Kenya and Shereé have a relationship, and I think maybe she's just trying to be like, "Do you know what? This guy has actually been here, like around Shereé. Maybe they're actually legit. Let me squash it." I think that's what that's about, but we'll find out next episode.
Hmm.
And
I
also, she
well,
probably knows that they're wrapping up filming and she's got to put in a performance herself. Let me stir something back up with
yeah.
him, or yeah, because there's nothing else going
Okay.
on.
You might be right, because to be honest, if we think about it, Kenya has been on the show for such a long time, so she knows how to, dramatize things to keep her relevant. So it could be that as well.
Did you guys see the clip to her upcoming interview? It looks like it's going to be good.
Whose interview?
Kenya
With who? Sorry.
with Carlos King.
Oh, I've not
Oh, wow.
that. I need to.
Hello.
Yes, he has put up like a 2-minute clip of it, and I think it's going to premiere next week, or is it
Would
tomorrow or
her
next
friend
week?
Kandi be okay with that?
Wow, good point.
Sorry, will Candy be okay with what?
Huh? Talking to Carlos.
I'm not being funny, but Candy talks about chasing the bag. I'm sorry, that's I don't know if Carlos pays for interviews. Do you know?
I don't know whether he pays for interview. What the angle I'm going at is that Kenya and Kandi try to, except if what they are portraying on the show is all lies, but they try to portray this friendship that would not betray on each other, and they are always there for each other, this kind of thing. And
Mm.
we know that Kandi hates the guts of Carlos. She literally dislikes Carlos. So for Kenya to have a full-blown interview with Carlos, and we know Carlos, he will find a way, how he does, he will find a way to like turn things around. So that's what I'm saying. Would Kandi be happy with Kenya that she went on an interview with Carlos?
Mm.
I don't think she would be happy, but I don't think there's anything I don't think it's something that she'll now like start being pissed at Kenya for, if that makes any sense. Because at the end of the day, that's an opportunity. And as someone who's always chasing the bag, you should understand that certain opportunities I might have to take, even if it's with your enemy.
Exactly.
you know the best I can do for you is when I get there, if he says something about you, I'm saying, we're not going to speak on my friend. That's my friend. Let's not go there. Let's focus on
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, but talking about the preview, what secret do you think will be exposed? Like they were talking about something happening with, I don't know, what's his name? Oh, the guy that was standing close to Sheree's son.
Bob,
Oh, Bob.
Bob,
Yeah, what secret they were trying to say is the lady with him, his new girlfriend or a daughter, because she was looking young.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Bob is always on some BS. So I won't be surprised if that's the person he's dating, or if that person is actually a kid from a random relationship that he had that he's hid for years or something. I don't know. I don't even know which
So,
one is worse.
well, I don't know why are they bringing Bob. Why are we talking about Bob again?
because I guess there is nobody else and nothing else to talk about. You're right, to bring Bob back in, like, what is going on?
They really should have just like put this show on pause and just told us that they're not bringing out this season. Honestly, because they don't have the content. They really don't. And I'm just like, you all need to go and start begging the OGs, the certain people to come back. Because so far we have a very dry, like I can't remember a moment where I thought this was funny Housewives. This was like lighthearted, chill, energetic. Instead, it just feels like every episode I'm either like trying to figure out what did I just watch, or I'm just completely drained
Exactly.
by the
The
crazy.
the only thing I'm anticipating for is the reunion. I want to see whether we'll get more info from the reunion. I'm telling you, I when I watched this episode, I told myself, thank God, just two more episodes and we're done.
I can't
Then
wait.
we'll just wait for the
I
reunion.
might even have a
That's
part, like, cause I am done with the show.
if because Candy's interview, I don't know whether I watched Candy's interview recently with a radio house. I've forgotten the radio house where she was kind of talking about probably there'll be a new season, and I was like, oh no. And she had that in interview with forgotten the people she had interview with, and she was like, she doesn't think that a reboot like New York would work on Atlanta. And I was like, are you trying to I like do you feel like if they do a reboot, you'll be kicked out? And she's scared of that reboot happening right there in Atlanta, because I don't understand why she was hinting that a reboot happening in Atlanta would not work. Just because it's worked in New York doesn't mean it's gonna work in Atlanta.
Andy is trying to keep that bag. That one thing that woman does is she knows how to secure the bag, honey. And she's like, nope, I'm not going to let you guys boot me off the show. Because if anything, I feel like she brought nothing to this season, in my opinion. And so I'm just like, I'm so exhausted. I'm tired. I just feel like they need to put everything on pause, the whole thing. Put it on pause, bring back certain people. Like, for instance, hate or like Portia, but she brings a lightheartedness, a funny experience to the show that is missing. And I feel like the cast just don't gel or mesh well together right now. And so it just feels like a bunch of cattiness.
I just know I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. They be boring me, and I keep rewinding because I be thinking I done missed something, or and I see that I haven't missed anything. So it's just showing me that I think I'm over it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just a bunch of hodgepodge, and to be so desperate to bring Latoya back and then to bring Cynthia, and then the way Cynthia walks into that house as if she was some big star, like, oh, Cynthia, we're so happy that you're here. Like, is she supposed to save the show? I mean, I don't have anything against Cynthia, but I mean, talk about a fly on the wall. She what did she
He
do?
never brought anything. Oh,
Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. Never brought anything. So then to bring her back and she's coming in with her Farrah
She's
Fawcett
always on the
hairdo.
background.
Always what?
exactly. Like sometimes you
She's
forget
always
she's
on
there.
the background. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
we don't really see her, but we know she's there.
Right. And then they
Exactly.
had her walk in as though she's like Nene coming to the set. It's like, okay, so we're supposed to be so excited because she came. So clearly it's an act of desperation. Latoya, Cynthia, now Drew is the star
Shamia,
of the show. Say that again.
Shamia. Don't forget.
Shamia, yeah,
Mhm.
and then to Drew. Now we're going to talk about her for the next few episodes, and then I'm just so tired of this Candy thing, like you just mentioned before. Why does she get to talk about the show on her YouTube channel? I don't watch it, but just hearing what you said, for she had Cynthia on there, and then for her to be calling the shot, saying that a reboot wouldn't work with the show. Who is she to make these decisions? Like, is she secretly making decisions for the show? Is the show in her hands to make decisions? If that's the case, then is that the reason why it's not doing so well? And then she has all of these followers on Instagram, but they don't watch the show.
Huh. Yeah.
Because to be honest, I feel like they probably follow her for other things besides Real Housewives to begin with. Because I don't follow her. And I'll be honest, if she was entertaining enough for me on Real Housewives, maybe I would have considered. But like for me, I'm just like, what are you going to give me? You don't give me enough on the show. Why am I going to follow you? And so I think there is that element. I think maybe her followers are probably people that like followed Kandi from like back in the day, songwriting days, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to fans of the show.
Right. That makes sense because I don't follow her either. I have no interest in seeing what she's doing in her daily life. But for her to be so confident to say, a reboot wouldn't work for this show. What? Like you make
And
these decisions now?
the fact is that she says more on her speak on it on YouTube than she says on the show. That's even what is more upsetting. If you go to watch speak on it on her YouTube channel, she talks more, and I'll be like, whoa, 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 she can talk. But on the show, she's literally quiet, and I'm like, why should I have to watch you on Speak on It and know what's going on with you on Speak on It? Then you're supposed to be on a reality TV show where I see everything about you, but I have to come on your. I feel she purposely does that so that people will come on her YouTube channel to watch her video because she's making money.
Mm.
Yeah, it's almost like she has more of a personality. I don't really want to speak on it, to be fair, but the mini clips I've seen here and there, it almost looks like she has a personality on Speak on It, but then on the show, it's like she blends with the wall. And I'm just like, I don't really understand it. And
Not
I
blends with
also,
the wall.
I'm just like, I just feel like she doesn't bring anything to the show, I'll be honest. The only thing she does, I guess, is promote the show using Speak on It. But that's really it.
Mm.
Right. Who's clamoring? Oh, I can't wait to see what Candy is doing this week. Who's doing that? I mean, I would watch it because I want to see what Nene is going to say, what she's going to bring. I know, I guess that may never happen to have her back. But then I did see a clip where Cynthia and was it Candy were saying that, well, I guess it was Cynthia, if you built this house, then go build another one. How come you haven't built another one? It's like, really, Cynthia? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
the way she
wondering if
jabbed that. Yeah.
right, like you were on there for all those seasons. Was it because Nene was your friend? Is that the reason why you're still in the show? Like with Giselle and Robin, why is Robin still on the show? Is it because Giselle is your friend? Like, did you really think that you were on the show all those seasons because you were so fascinating and so funny and people want to see you?
Mm.
They didn't even bring you back for this season as a, full time. And I
It's like
felt
we
bad
saw
for her.
Courtney more than we saw you this season. Courtney.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my God. This season has just been a flop. A
Yeah. We should
flop.
have kept that one in the archives, man.
I'm telling you. And the guy just kept it there. Like, let it be there. Let it not come out. I don't know why they did it. I don't, you know, I always say it. If I did, the first show I wanted to do was Real Housewives of oh, I've forgotten this other one, but not Real Housewives of Atlanta actually. But because I saw the adverts in the beginning, like when they were doing the advert for the season, I was like, wow, 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 it's gonna be interesting. I didn't know that was a setup. That was like they wanted to put us in, like pull us in. Like it was already too late when I realized that man, there was nothing here.
Mm. I know, and I think for me, because I'd already committed to like subscribers, I meant like, oh, I'm gonna cover this, and I was just like, and also it's a panel. I kind of felt bad, like just pulling out last minute and saying, guys, I'm leaving y'all to it. I was like, let me just stay the course until the end, and now we're almost there. I
We're
cannot.
almost there. We're almost just 2 more weeks. We're almost there to the reunion. So, well, I don't know whether have they announced the date for the reunion.
I
I
don't.
haven't heard
I
anything.
haven't come across it yet. No.
Well, let us see how that will go. Well, I guess we'll be rounding up now. Is there any other person that wants to say anything before we
Girl, nothing.
Wonderful.
But please subscribe, guys, to all our channels. I'm guessing we all have channels. But yeah, please subscribe. That was the only thing I was gonna say.
Yes, yes, yes. And congratulations, Uzo.
Oh, thank you. Please subscribe to reviews and recaps. Subscribe to ShopRite TV and subscribe to Film.Zone for so many other shows. It's not only Real Housewives we do a lot of other shows. So subscribe to our channel for more shows. See you guys hopefully next
Oh,
week Monday.
yeah, so we'll go at it again. Thank you. Have a good evening or take care.
All right,
Uh,
bye.
All
bye.
right, bye.
Bye. Bye.